Welcome to the 4-1 homework review. I had asked you guys to do problems 2 to 22, just the evens on this one. The first section, the directions say tell which operation is to be done first and then compute. So what I had suggested is you underline whatever you're going to do first, always keeping in mind your order of operations. So parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide left to right, add and subtract left to right. But when we come to number 2, we have no parentheses, we have no exponents, so we're going to go ahead and do our division here. And once that is done, we write everything else down and we can get our answer. So for number 2, the answer there is 6. I'm going to try a different marker here for you. That's better. So the other thing that I had suggested is some of you may want to cross out once you have dealt with something. So we did the 16 divided by 4 and got 4, so we could cross that out. It makes it a little bit easier to see what is left that you need to bring down. And then we did this one and we got 6 and we're all done. Going over to number 4, the first thing that we need to do is what's on top of our division. Although there are not parentheses there, that's considered a grouping. So we need to do that before we can then divide. So we can go ahead and say that that's 18 over 9 times 3. We've dealt with that now. So next up is our multiplication and division, left to right. We start over here and come until we find one. This is division. So we would do that. We can cross that out, bring down our times 3. That's all that's left. So again, our answer is 6. Moving on to number 6, we have some groupings on both the numerator and denominator of this fraction. So we can go ahead and do both of those. So we can cross those out because we've done them. Now we're going to come down here, and the rule says to multiply and divide left to right, but when we look at this, we can't actually do this division yet. We need to do this one. So this is still like a grouping here. So we are going to go ahead and do that. And now we can do this division and say that our final answer is 9. I think I grabbed the wrong pile of markers because these are all dying. All right, we're gonna try our third marker of the lesson with number 8. So number 8 has some brackets. Brackets are just like parentheses. You're gonna do those first. So we are going to do this first. And we will get 12. So that is done. The next thing that we're going to do is the exponent. So 2 squared means 2 times 2. We're multiplying 2's and we have 2 of them. So our answer there will be 4. We have one thing left, which is to take 4 times 12. And we get our answer 48. Number 10, we don't have any parentheses. We don't have any exponents, so we're going to start off by multiplying and dividing left to right. The first thing that we see is 4 times 8. So we would do that. Answer is 32. Copy everything else down. Next up, we're going to do 32 times 3, which would be 96. Copy everything else down. And then we have one thing left to do. So our answer for number 10 would be 94. Number 12, again, we have no parentheses. So the very first thing we need to do is take care of the exponent, 4 squared. 4 squared means 4 times 4, which would be 16. So we're going to change that to a 16. I've copied everything else down. Now we have no parentheses, we have no exponents, so we're going to look for, starting at the left, we're going to look for multiplication or division. We have 3 times 2, so we're going to do that, copy everything else down. Now we just have addition across, so we're going to do this. And then finally, we get our answer, which is 31. So number 12, your answer should be 31. Number 14, we have a lot going on here. We have a set of parentheses, we have a set of brackets. So those are the first things that we need to do. Because they're separate, we can do them in the same line. When we do this one, 40 divided by 4 would be 10. Copy these. And then 6/10 times 40 would be, let's see, this would be 240, but then we have a decimal, so I believe it's just 24 there. So that's done. And if you want, you can just go ahead and do that math off to the side, 1 decimal. That's fine, and if you do that side work, just leave it there. You do not have to erase it. Next up, no parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication or division, so we're going to add and subtract left to right. So we do this, copy everything else, and then do the next one, copy everything, and we get our answer of 36. So number 14 was 36. Number 16 is another one that looks long to begin with, but you'll notice these start to condense pretty quickly to our answers. So in number 16, first up is our parentheses right here. We would do that first. You still have a square on that. Next up would be to square that. Okay. So then we are going to multiply and divide left to right. I have a multiplication here. And I also have a multiplication here. So when I do 64 times 4/10, I get that. So the last thing I have is to add these. And there's our answer, 55 and 6/10. Our last 3 problems, number 18, again, we're using our order of operations. First thing we need to do is these grouping symbols. We have brackets this time instead of parentheses. So we are going to take care of everything that's in there. Let's see, left to right, we would do the division first. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 2 would be 2. So that whole bracket simplifies to 2. The next thing we're going to do is work on our numerator and our denominator in this division problem. So our numerator would be 10. Our denominator is 4 squared, so 2 squared, which is 4. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. And then I do this division. Oh, look what this simplifies to. 2 minus 2 is 0. So this whole big thing turns out to be 0. It's a very fancy way to write 0. Number 20 and 22. These are where we need to kind of put on our detective caps and figure out where the parentheses should be in these problems. You hopefully will remember from the lesson that I said it would be, there's one set of parentheses and they're just going to be around 2 of our terms. So we can start here and say, all right, well, if I did 48 divided by 3 squared. 3 squared would be 9. I can't do that without a remainder. So we're going to come over here and say, all right, well, if I put them here, it would be 9 squared minus 1. I did that again. I'm thinking faster than I'm talking. It would be 9 minus 1, which is 8. I can do 48 divided by 8 very nicely. Be 6, and then 6 plus 7 would be 13. So there is our winner. Let's put our parentheses around the 3 squared minus 1. Number 22, if I put my, oh, there's a lot going on in this one. You know what I'm going to do is go ahead and square these because we know that needs to happen. So this one would be 36. 6 times 6 is 36. Over here, 2 times 2 would be 4. Then bring everything else down. And then it should be easier to figure out where these parentheses need to go. So if, let's see, if we think about this, 2 divided by 4, that would be 1/2, which I'm going to guess isn't where they're going on this one. If we take 36 minus 8, that could be right. 8 minus 2 would be 6. And then 36 minus 6 would be 30. And then if we times that by 2, we'd get 60. Divide by 4, and it's not going to be 35. So let's try. What if we put it around? No, we said that wasn't going to work. If we put it here, this would be 4. I think I just did that one. 28 minus 4 is 20. That's not going to work either. Well, should have been writing these down that I was trying because I can't remember which one I didn't try. What if we put it here? We do that? I don't know. 28, that doesn't really change our order. 26 times 2. No, that's not right. Did I copy the problem correctly? Yes, I did. Aha. So this problem has made me into a liar because there are 3 terms that are in our parentheses. So we just checked out, I believe, putting them here, 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 and here, and none of those worked. So the next option would be to group 3 things together. So if I think about these 3 being together, we'd have 28 minus 2 would be 26, and then the 26 times 2 divided by 4, that did not work. What if I group these 3 things together? I would get 4 divided by 4, which is 1. 36 minus 8 minus 1 is not 35. So the last option would be to group these together. So within these parentheses, we think about our order of operations again. No more parentheses, no exponents. So we're going to do our multiplication. And then we do the subtraction. There you go. And then we're going to do this division. And finally the subtraction, and we do get the answer that we should have, which is 35 equals 35. So if we go back to our original line, that's where our parentheses belong. We're on 3 terms, not just 2 terms. I think that's it for the week. So we do have our Zoom this afternoon. On Friday, if you're watching this on Friday, we do have our Zoom today at 1:30, so I will see you guys then. If you have any math questions at all, that's your time to ask. I hope to see all of the sixth graders there today, and I will talk to you then. Look for more assignments on Monday on Rediker.